Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome to Talkwad Studios. We're coming live from Tampa, and tonight we're going to talk about a somewhat controversial issue. It is mental health issues in dogs, and this is controversial because some people just don't believe it's possible. Which is interesting because if you had gone through some of the things that some of our rescue dogs go through, then you would probably be a complete crackpot. So some of our dogs, as you know, come from situations where they've been left on the side of the road or dumped out of a car, unfortunately, or abandoned in their home. Some of them are just dumped at shelters, some are wandering around, some are owner surrendered because people just can't be bothered anymore, or they're moving or anything of the sort. The moving one drives me crazy, I will say. There are some situations where I get that it's a dire situation. Hopefully you have some family members that can help you out, but I can tell you from personal experience that even with two very large dogs, you can rent an apartment, you can get a house. I've got 3 myself, and I'm finding people are open to renting to me, just not an apartment with more than 2. So anyway, I'm off subject. So what we want to talk about is dogs can have varying behavioral issues, anywhere from something as simple as they don't really like other dogs, or they're anxious around thunderstorms, or to some more serious issues of a fear. You always worry about the fear biters, or anybody who has a dog who someone comes in the house and they're really afraid of strangers, and to the point where they're barking. So it's not that they're protecting the home necessarily, but they're going up to them and barking and acting aggressively and then backing off, and that shows a fear. So it's not necessarily that they're just protecting you, it's that they're fearful of the fact that there's somebody new in the house and they're not sure what to do. So it's up to you to really guide that behavior. And there's a lot of things that you can do. One of the things I do want to focus on tonight, though, is separation anxiety. It's a huge issue. It can be as minor as some destruction or nervousness or panting when you're gone, to pure destruction, breaking glass windows, busting through doors, destroying everything they can. And it's unfortunate, but it's not that the dog is being bad. You know, you come home and you get so upset over something happened and your door handle is broken or the molding is broken, and your first inclination is like, why would you do this? And you have to start thinking about dogs in the same sense that you would think about a person who has some mental incapacity, where they've gone through something or they've developed an anxiety about something, and it's not really their fault. So blaming them when you get home for something that went wrong is not appropriate, I guess I could say. So in the sense of, I've got Fester here, as you can see, he's kind of pacing around. He has some anxiety. It varies in how it manifests itself. It is a form of separation anxiety. He gets awfully upset if I let them out to go to the bathroom or eat and I close the lanai door while I'm making dinner or something of the sort. He doesn't like to be separated from me, so he cries a little bit, or you can hear him, I don't know if you might have heard him, crying a little bit here just because I'm not necessarily petting him, and he's not really sure what he's supposed to do. And that's what the anxiety really comes from, is I don't know what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to feel right now, or there's something around me that makes me afraid or makes me unsure. So I have varying issues with this with my lab, who doesn't like people going by on skateboards or bikes. That's a kind of a common thing, actually. Again, separation anxiety. Thunder is a huge thing. Thunder and fireworks. How many people tell me, how do I get my dog to stop freaking out in the thunder? or if there's fireworks going on. 4th of July, New Year's Eve are two of the top times when people lose dogs because they get so scared and they take off. Maybe you're watching it with them and they panic and freak out and run. So there are some things that you can do. I would advise that you get the assistance of a certified behaviorist. So it's an actual certified application, and it's called Certified Applied Animal Behaviorist. Or if you go for the veterinary way, you can get a board certified veterinary behaviorist. Someone who is a dog trainer who does clicker training, or someone that works at PetSmart Petco that does like the puppy socialization, that is not the trainer that you need. And nothing against that. That works great for when you need potty training or socialization. But true behavioral issues require someone who really understands that piece of it. It's not, a clicker is not going to help you with this. This is something that takes a long time. You've got to be dedicated to work with them. It's months and months of work. But on a dog that comes out of a shelter and people would normally give up on because the dog is growling, or the dog is guarding its food, or the dog again is being destructive when you're not at home, you have to decide what your commitment is to working with that dog. And in my case, I am the person in my rescue group who takes on those behavioral cases. So I do get one pretty much after the other, unfortunately. It's a little hard, and we do have people evaluate all of our dogs before they come in, that they're friendly with people and other dogs. But what a dog amplifies in a shelter doesn't necessarily mean that that's how they're going to be in a home. So we always want to be careful with that, and we always want to make sure, as a responsible rescue, that what we're adopting to you is going to be safe for your home. So we kind of try them out in our homes. I guess we're kind of the guinea pigs, but there's a couple of ways to work with behavior modification, and one is desensitization. Desensitization is just exactly how it sounds. It's taking down the sensitivity to whatever it is that is making that dog afraid. So it could be, like I said, with my boy Scooby, my yellow lab, he does not like the skateboarders or the kids that go by in the park on the bike. So things that you can do to work with that are getting him more and more used to skateboards, bikes, maybe being there but being a good distance away. And the thing that you start to work with them with is getting them used to it, getting it to be a positive experience, making it not a big deal. So maybe when someone's going by on the skateboard, I make sure that we're moved safely enough away from them, and then maybe I play with him or something, make it a positive experience for him so that that anxiety is not there. Counter conditioning is the other piece of the behavioral modification training, and that's what the counter conditioning is making it a positive experience. So you really can't do one without the other. Your desensitization and your counter conditioning really have to happen together. And again, you have to have patience to be able to go through this. You can't take big steps, you have to take baby steps. And you have to be able to watch your dog's behavior, watch his ears, his tail. Is he panting? Is he relaxed? Is his tongue out? Is he laying down? Does he appear anxious or stiff in any way? Very alert? These are all different signs of how your dog is feeling, just as you would a person. You have to take what you would see in a person's body language. Oh, that you understand, oh, that person's agitated or that person's afraid. The dogs will have the same reactions. You just have to understand what those are. There are things that you would do for behavior modification and the desensitization process, and that would be changing the dog's perception of the situation or the thing that they're afraid of. It could be a vacuum cleaner. We hear that all the time. Some dogs either chase them down or other dogs actually are petrified of them when we take them out. It could be a blow dryer, anything of the sort. Some of those mechanical devices that make a lot of noise makes a dog uneasy. So again, making that a positive experience for that dog and not a negative experience. Don't chase him around with it and think it's really funny. Make it positive for them, so do something special for them. If you say take out the vacuum cleaner, put it against the wall, don't turn it on immediately, but have a treat handy and maybe give them a treat right before you turn it on. If you do that repeatedly each time, then they're going to say, oh, that vacuum cleaner thing means I'm going to get a treat. So there's a positive association with that. Apparently, Fester has found something that he does not like the smell of. He's sneezing like crazy over in the corner. Fester, what's going on? What got in your nose, huh, buddy? He's silly. The other piece you want to do is change the dog's consequence. So in that sense of, again, not yelling at your dog for the behavior, not getting upset with the dog. Again, you have to think of this not as a, he did this to get back at me, he did this to make me upset. You have to think of it and understand the fact that he doesn't mean to do those things for you. A dog's natural inclination is a total opposite. They want to make you happy. They live for you. If you think about, if you watched back on my original show, again, you have your friends, your family, your work, all they have is you. So if you think about that, they would not want to make you upset. They want to make you happy. They just need to know how to do that. When you have a dog that you're leaving and they get anxious, that this isn't just the dog chewed my couch while I was gone. My golden retriever does that. I'm on couch number 5, thank you, in 3 years. Love him, but good Lord. That is not separation anxiety. That is him just bored and being a brat. I mean, just pure and simple. He's not drooling. He's not pacing. He's not anxious about it. It's just pure and simple. I'm bored. What can I do today? Oh, I can chew Mummy's leather couch. Yay, let's have fun with this. And we'll start pulling it out and getting everything everywhere. And then, of course, his little sister has to join in. So that is not separation anxiety. Those of you that have experienced it know it for real. So Fester here pacing like this is an anxiety that he has going on. A dog that you come home to and maybe he's in a crate, but that crate is full of drool and hair. It's moved around. The crate tray in it is chewed up. The bars are bent. Maybe he's not even in it anymore. That's happened. And I still can't quite figure out how an 80-pound dog gets out of a locked crate and it's still locked. But it does happen. I swear I'm not making it up. That's actually true separation anxiety. And if they are out of it, they tend to go after the places where you leave through. So the door, of course, is a big deal. Back door, front door, whatever it may be that you utilize. The windows, because they can see you out of that. They see you walking away. They start panicking. They may start scratching at it. Your blinds are going to go. There is just no chance you can have blinds when you have a separation anxiety dog. Make it not a big deal to leave, and make it not a big deal that you came home. I think about that realistically in my household. When I get home, the dogs go crazy. My big 110-pound lab is crying like a dolphin because he's so happy that I got home. This crazy high-pitched thing, you know, it's really funny coming out of a dog his size. Fester here is crying because he's all excited and he's doing circles. And I can hear Millie in her crate and Yogi in his crate. And I mean, they're just all excited when I come home. The worst thing I can do is give into that and just be like, hey guys, it's so good to see you, and play with them. I know it's your natural inclination, and it is mine as well. I have to remind myself to step back for a minute, do what I'm trying to do. Go out, give them the water. I give them water outside because it ends up everywhere. Go in the kitchen, get my son situated, put everything down, whatever it may be. Give it at least a couple of minutes that you are doing your normal stuff and not making it a big deal that you just got home. Because that builds up an anxiety for them of, oh my God, when Mom gets home, it's going to be so amazing and so incredible. And when is she coming home? When is she coming home? You have to think about it logically. That is the anxiety that you're building up because of your natural inclination to be that way. Now, when you're leaving the house, it's the same way. Don't worry, Mommy's going to be home soon. I'm only going for a few hours. You know, whatever it may be. Don't make it a serious issue or a problem that you are leaving the home. Again, you're building up an anxiety in the dog. If you have one who it takes a little bit more to work with, it's a serious separation anxiety, there are medications that you can go to your veterinarian for. Again, if you're going to do so, make sure at your veterinarian that there is a board-certified veterinary behaviorist. That is not every vet. Someone there has to be able to understand the behavioral side of thing, not the medical side of thing. It's very, very different. So someone who is on the medical side might be more prone to either, yes, I'm going to prescribe you the medication easily, or no, I'm not going to at all because I don't really understand it. A behaviorist will truly understand what you need and what type of medication that you would want. There are 4 different types of antidepressant anxiety medications. They all have different side effects. They're all used for different reasons. There are certain ones like Valium and Xanax and things that we're familiar with, which work right away, but you have to give it to them right before the actual event. So you're going out and you know you're going to be out to go watch a movie. An hour before you're going to leave, that would be something that you would want to give them. Other things like Clomicalm and things like that, they take days, weeks sometimes to actually get into the system, and it's something they have to take all the time. So that would be for real serious situations where it's an all-the-time anxiety and not necessarily something where you know you're only going to be out 3 days a week for a couple hours a day or something like that. Again, you have to talk to someone who truly understands this. I can't stress that enough. And make sure you get the right medication. It's explained to you for your dog if you're going to do that. Medication will not solve your problem. What it will do is it allow the dog the ability to tolerate the situation so that you can then implement a modification in the behavior. So it'll take that anxiety out so that you then can maybe make it a positive experience and give them a treat or something of the sort. Some dogs, when they get that anxious, they don't even want a treat. They don't want anything. They're so freaked out by it that they just can't focus. And even a dog who is a total food hound, they'll probably ignore that out of their anxiety. So sometimes medication is necessary in order to get to the dog to that part where they can then tolerate the situation and move on from there. I wanted to make sure I approach this subject. Rescue people are used to it. I get adopters all the time. You have a puppy and then suddenly you were home with it all the time and now you're out. We have a big Great Pyrenees right now in rescue and he's having those same situations. He's used to his person being home all the time. So now when they go out for a little bit, he's freaking out. So they try putting him in a crate and he just breaks right out of the crate. So they try leaving him out of the crate and of course he destroys something. So if they know they're only going to be out for, again, a couple hours at a time, they can start using some of the techniques that are recommended by a behaviorist or some of the stuff I've talked about tonight. Or again, if none of those are working, perhaps go to their veterinarian, talk about maybe the Xanax or the Valium piece of it where they know they're not going to be gone at all times. There are plugins. There's one called DAP that you can actually get that you have to have it plugged in all the time though. So if you're going to utilize it, it's a 24-hour thing. It's like one of those little, smelly plugins. And basically it releases a pheromone that they get when mom first gives birth and is feeding them. And it's this calming pheromone that they get from that. I don't know that it necessarily works for everything. And not every dog is going to react to the same product that another one would, just as you do. You know that perhaps your medication, you don't react the same way that your sister does or your husband does or your child does, whatever it may be. Everybody reacts a little differently, and dogs have the same type of makeup. I'd love to open up the floor to, if you have any questions like that whatsoever. I have a Facebook page that I've set up. It is facebook.com/barkingoutloud. I would love any questions that you might have to be posted there or private message me, and we'll make sure we get to as many as we can. We will have some board-certified behaviorists here in the next couple of weeks. We will have a veterinarian who practices Eastern as well as Western medication. So again, people who are going to be familiar with and some of the natural things or medication, not medications necessarily, but natural what do they call them? Alternatives that you can actually utilize in helping your dog if they have a separation anxiety behavior. So I hope you learned something in there, and I hope it was helpful. That's what I'm here for. I put on my Facebook page what people wanted to talk about, and that was one thing that everybody wanted to talk about. It's near and dear to my heart because Fester is my foster dog. As much as I've been working for him for a few months and it's been touch and go, I really would love to find him a home that understands what I've been working for him with and continue with that. Fester, come here, buddy. Yes, come here. Who's a big boy? He is a very handsome boy. Hey, Fest, you're off the camera here. He is a very handsome dog. He is about 5 years old. Our best guess is he's a flat-coated retriever with a little bit of chow in there. He's a little hefty for a flat coat. He does have the black tongue, though that is a total myth. Not all chows have black tongues, and not everybody who has a black tongue is a chow. Retrievers have them, Newfoundlands have them, Goldens have them, and he, if you looked at him, if you met him in person, you would think he was a small Newfoundland. That's exactly what he looks like. He is a gorgeous dog. He loves kids. He loves me. I think we just need to find that right person who he's going to transfer that to, because he has some guarding issues where he's very protective of me and very protective of my son. So I've been working in desensitizing him to that, and that's something that the adopter will have to continue to do. If you're interested in Fester, you can email me at adoptfromfar, F-A-R-R, at yahoo.com, or again, my Facebook page, Barking Out Loud. So what I promised everyone today that we would do is that we would have a giveaway. So I know we're a little bit late because of our technical issues early in the show, and I apologize for that. But if you would like to call in, the phone number is on the screen, 813-235-0644. Again, that's 813-235-0644. And we'll take caller 10. And we will have a Thunder shirt for you. So going along with the theme of this show, which is, of course, behavioral modification and some mental health issues in dogs, I have been researching like crazy on the Thunder shirts. Again, not everything is going to work for everybody, but I have heard so many good things about it and read so many positive reviews that probably study shows about 75% of dogs react to it immediately when you put it on. If it's the anxiety for separation, if it's anxiety for thunderstorms, fireworks, even some with fear aggression, people are reporting all over that it is a miracle. You can find them online. There is actually thundershirt.com. They're on Amazon. They're on all of the medical magazines page, like 1-800-PET-MEDS and things like that. It has been proven to work with the majority of dogs, so it is definitely something that comes in handy. Maybe you might need it. It comes in, I think, 7 different sizes for the little ones, as well as the big, large, extra large breeds that we take in. So I'm hoping it would be useful for you, and we'll get the person's information, and we will go from there. And hopefully, I have somebody who calls in and wins, and we'll go ahead and send that out to you. The one thing I would like to mention today is we have some events coming up, and those events are going to vary from adoption events to fundraiser events. There is one that is being held at Cigar City Brewer. It's hard for you. I keep wanting to say brewery, but it says brewer. They are located at 3924 West Spruce Street in Tampa. And on April 2nd at 7 p.m., that is next Wednesday, they will be having a event releasing their Puppy Breath Porter is what it's called. And it's one of their beers that one of the volunteers, local volunteers for rescue, Jen Bouvet, she volunteers for numerous rescues. She likes to take pictures and get some great photographs and put them online. She took a picture of one of the Alabama dogs that came in, named Henrietta, and that dog is actually the label on that beer. So I believe Dunedin Doggy Rescue is going to be the benefactor of that event. So go on out, try some great beers, meet some rescue dogs, and support your local rescues always. It's not just about our group, Florida Retriever Rescue. It's about supporting your local rescues. So I hope everybody had a great night. And again, I apologize for being late. Technical issues you cannot sometimes control. So have a good evening, and I will hopefully be seeing you next Thursday. God bless.